Good morning, everyone in Spec Ed Specialist for the winter of 2020. It's Matt Arnold coming to you again. And what we are looking at today is how I create a class profile using Google Forms and Google Sheets. So, first of all, what I've included here is what's called a customer profile template, because, of course, coming from a background in customer service, this was similar to what I would use with customers there, mainly corporate customers, but in a different way. So I have, first of all, a simple customer profile template that is fillable, and then I have, of course, we see here that I have 3 courses, and course number 2, you can see how that starts to look and some of the feedback that I was given by some students. Of course, I have to change some names in there. And then course number 3 here shows you another set of data from students. And of course, this, like I said, I'll be including this as a template that you'll be able to make a copy of and use for yourself. There's also some data that I gathered, including what are called 21st century competencies, and a learning skills evaluation, and a student progress self-evaluation that I embedded directly in a course. So one of the bonuses about forms and about sheets here is that you can take a form, a separate form, and you can link that form to a Google Sheet. So it builds even more data about the student, but you don't have to create an entirely new Google Sheet, and you can have it all in one place, which gives you a more rounded idea of all the data that you've collected for a student. Great. So that's the sheet. I'll show you, first of all, how I embedded the form in a class for students to be able to access and fill out. So from a form, let's say my 21st century learning form. So my 21st century learning form, I am able to take that and I am able to embed it into a course. So in this case, I embedded it directly into the course homepage on a Brightspace course. You can also embed these forms in Google Classroom, and you can also just simply give a QR code or a shortened URL for students to do this on their mobile devices. So they don't actually need a computer in front of them at the time. They can quite simply just use their phones to access the form and fill out the form that way. Alright, great. So the next piece is when I am creating these forms, and if I want to include it all in a Google Sheet, is I can, once I've finished the form, is I can go to the Responses tab, and in the Responses tab I can go to View Responses in Sheets. Oh, sorry. I can go to Responses, and then I can choose the destination that I want the responses by creating a spreadsheet. So instead of creating a new spreadsheet, what I can do is select an existing spreadsheet, and then I know that I'd like this to appear in my RCR customer profile sheet, so I would select that and then click select, and what it does is it now embeds itself in my what's called RCR customer profile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this my 21st century learning skills form. Good. So that way I know exactly where the data is coming from and what to expect when I read that. Once I have once I've waited for it to reload, it's easy enough to do that. Alright, now if you've created a form but you forgot to include it, you forgot to set it to the sheet that you wanted it to, you can do that even after you create the form. So you can see here that I have a learning skills evaluation form that I've created. I can take that information and I can go ahead and I can copy that information to an existing spreadsheet. So I'll go like this, and then I would just look for the RCR customer profile sheet. There it is, and then I would copy that to my RCR customer profile sheet, select, and bada bing bada boom, it's there. This is a wonderful way for students to work on self-management skills and be a bit more self-aware of their own skills. A wonderful thing about this is that I can use the information from these evaluation forms and call it up on a screen, say at a parent-student-teacher interview, and the students can quite simply just comment on what they put down there themselves. I will also print out little sheets of paper, and it's really handy at progress report time because I don't have to make any comments. What I'll do is I'll print the little pieces of paper, I'll cut out each individual row, and I will just attach that to their progress reports and then send that home. So it saves me a whole bunch of time then, and the students do their own evaluation. Great. So if you have any questions, please reply to this post. Also, I'm going to try to put a link to each of these templates so you all can make a copy of them and play around with them and let me know how it works out in your classroom. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you all soon.